Welcome back to Hello Nigeria, and thank you so much for joining us. We're counting down to the end of the second week in January, and we hope that you're starting to work towards your goals, your visions, and your dreams for 2019. Now, one set of people, or a group of people that are not sleeping, definitely not sleeping, are Africa's wealthiest people, our billionaires. Now, Forbes released the list of Africa's richest on the continent. It's a really long list, but this year we had top 20 as opposed to last year where we had top 23. Now, this year's list, the yearly list is usually aimed at revealing the richest on the continent and basically people who reside in Africa or have their primary businesses in Africa. And the 2019 list was collated using the net worth and the stock exchange value and basically the stock exchange on the close of business on the 4th of January. So that is not a determining factor of how they will fare during the year. That is just what happened. That's just basically for that day. And we know that sometimes during weeks or months after the result is released, the billionaires on the list could become either richer or poorer. It is dependent on the choices that they make or what the economy says. But basically, Esther, how excited were you when you heard about the list and the fact that there were 4 Nigerians on the list, 3 men, 1 woman, and of the 3 men, there was 1 who returned to the list for the first time since 2015.
Oh, yes. First of all, I was very impressed with Dangote, even though, yes, I felt, I don't blame him. I wanted to say I felt disappointed, but I don't blame him. One, Dangote came out as the most richest at $10.3 billion, followed by Mike Adenuga at $9.2 billion. But I would say that I was impressed with Mike because Mike was the 3rd last year. And, there was a huge $1.6 billion difference, to his increase in earnings from his business, which, of course, was telecom and oil from last year, 2017, till this year,
Unlike Mike Adenuga, who had a dip from 12.2 billion last year to 10.3 billion this year. So we have like $800 million between Mike Adenuga and Dangote. Yes, but congratulations to them at the end of the day. As much as it might not be the result, the desired result that Dangote wants, we're still saying that he's done a great job as well. I mean, he's come out tops for 8 consecutive years. He's topped the list of Africa's wealthiest businessmen or Africa's wealthiest on the continent. We'll be looking at the list and we'll be starting from number 1. We have Aliko Dangote with $10.3 billion. And we also have closely followed by Mike Adenuga, $9.2 billion. Number 3 on the list is Nikki Oppenheimer, $7.3 billion. Now, Nikki was on the list last year, but for number 2.
Yeah, but there was an exchange between him and Mike.
Exactly. So this year he's come down to number 3 with $7.3 billion, and he deals primarily in diamonds. We also have Nassef Sawiris, who is $6.3 billion, I beg your pardon, at number 4, and he deals in construction and chemicals. We also have Johan Rupert. Johan Rupert is number 5 on the list with $5.3 billion and deals in luxury goods. Number 6 on the list, we have Issad Rebrab, and Issad Rebrab is $3.7 billion and deals in food.
His is actually the most interesting for me, food.
Yes,
but everybody kept talking about it,
yes.
Food, and nothing else actually. His brand has actually been known all over the African Arab countries for food, and they own chains of food businesses, and they've done well for years.
Yes. So what that shows us is at the end of the day, no matter how things get, people will always eat. Even in Nigeria, if we look at our businesses in Nigeria, there's one business that never really does too badly, and that is the food business.
Yeah.
People will always eat, no matter how things get. Once they get money, one of the primary things you want to do is to feed. All right, we have number 7 on the list, Naguib Sawiris. Naguib Sawiris is worth $2.9 billion, and Naguib deals in telecom. Number 8 on the list, we have Kuzbeka, deals in media and investments, and is worth $2.3 billion. Yeah, that's Kuzbeka on the screen there. And now we have number 8. Now, there's a tie.
3 people.
There's a tie in number 8. So we have Kuzbeka, Isabel dos Santos, Mohamed Mansour, and Strive Masiyura. Yes. Now, it's important to mention that there are only 2 women that made it to the list this year. And Isabel dos Santos is, of course, one of the 2 women. And she's also the daughter of the former president of Angola, Eduardo. Yes. Dos Santos. I forgot his name, Eduardo dos Santos.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes, exactly. So she's the former president's daughter, and she deals basically in investments as well. She's earning, or she's worth $2.3 billion, as well as Mohammed Mansour and Kuzbeka and Strive Masira. Now, Strive made it to the list last year for the first time. So Zimbabwe saw him on the list for the first time last year, and of course, he's come back again this year, and he's done really well for himself in the past year. He's one of the people whose earnings did not dip in the past year. We also have Patrice Bosepe, who is into mining, $2.3 billion as well. So these are the people that rank on number 8.
For top 8, actually.
Exactly. So they're all in the number 8 rank together. So from there, we jump over to number 13. And we have Aziz Akanush. Aziz Akanush is worth $2.1 billion and deals in petroleum as well as is diversified.
Yeah.
And I particularly like this one. I find him very interesting. Muhammad Duji, he earns his $1.9 billion. And why I find him interesting is because he's the youngest on the list. He was also the youngest on the list last year. So as at the time he was the youngest on the list last year, he was 42. And this year he's 43, still maintaining the youngest on the list. Some of us really need to up our game and go and really kick some people out of office.
I think the most interesting thing for Muhammad, for me, is the term used. Diversified,
yeah.
Meaning he's an investor in all, sectors, and he's doing a lot. Now, he's not just one place. Yes, we've always known for Dangote being the richest of them all. We've known 3 things for Dangote. It's always been sugar, cement, and flour. That's what it's always been. The same thing for Mike Adenuga. It's always been telecom and oil.
Exactly.
So there's nothing else added. These are, even though we know these people have other things they do, but these are the 3 major things known to actually give them, profit. So basically, there are a lot of people.
There's still more people who are, are diversified as well on the list, on this top 20 list. So maybe we'll move to the next person, Othman Benjeloun. I hope I got that correctly.
Yes.
$1.7 million. Now, I find him interesting as well because he's the oldest person on the list, and he's 86 years old. He wasn't the oldest person on the list last year. We had someone from, if I'm correct, Egypt. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's Egypt. Right, followed right after that, we have Abdul Samad Rabiu. He deals in cement and sugar. He's number 16 on the list, and he's worth $1.6 billion.
And he's Nigerian, by the way.
Exactly. And this is so
too proud right now
because he was on the list before and he wasn't there again. So for the first time since 2015, he's resurfacing on the list. So kudos to him and congratulations to him on the work that he's doing with his cement and sugar. And we have number 17 on the list, Yasin Mansour. Yasin Mansour is also diversified as well and is worth $1.5 billion. Number 18 on the list, we have Yusuf Mansour, $1.2 billion and diversified as well. Now, number 19 on the list, Girl Power, All Hail Nigeria. We have Folorunsho Alakija, $1.1 billion. And of course, we know that she deals in oil. This is definitely our hero and our champion.
But actually, compared to her ranking actually in 2016 and 2017, truthfully, Folorunsho Alakija has actually dropped. Because she was occupying the 16th position in 2016, and then 2018 she got to the 19th position. But basically, I would want to look at the factors that made this happen. Dangote, for example, was earning $25.2 billion in 2015. So there are a lot of things that have happened. Economic effects, recession.
We're seeing weaker currencies. We're seeing, the oil prices as well. So basically, there's so many factors that led to the decline that we're seeing. According to a caption I saw on the Forbes website, they say fewer billionaires, poorer billionaires. How can they call this? Like the oxymoron, poorer billionaires, being a billionaire and using the word poor in the same sentence? I don't really understand. But actually, of course, they get the message.
Someone was actually talking about how this is showing on, the economy of Africa and African nations, because come on, there was money circulating as at 2015 and 2016 all around in the different sectors compared to how it is now. So everybody's complaining, and even the billionaires are saying it's showing on them. Come on, who patronizes them? We are the ones.
If the billionaires are complaining, then what is happening to the average person? The average individual is barely trying to make a living.
That's the truth.
So basically, we feel that this decline is felt in
everywhere,
every area, every sector, every economy. We're seeing that those at the top are complaining, those at the bottom end of the ladder are complaining because we are still fighting the minimum wage battle, and we're saying that beyond them approving this, the fact that are these governors going to pay? We still have people who are being owed salaries. So there's so much that we're saying. Africa is a wonderful continent, but we still have a lot of work to do. Now, back to our list, we have our last person on the list, Michel Leroux, banking $1.1 billion and 69 years old. There's so much that we can see and there's so much that we can learn from this list. Of course, these are not the only billionaires in the continent of Africa, but every year the Forbes Africa releases its list and we analyze this list based on those who reside in Africa or have their primary businesses here. And as we mentioned earlier, this net worth was calculated using stock prices and currency exchange rates from the close of business on the 4th of January.
Yeah.
So this is not a guarantee that for the rest of the year, you know, I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, but this is not a guarantee that their finances will remain this way throughout the year. It could either increase, it could reduce, or it could stay the same. And reports have it that the finances of these billionaires, their net worth either increases or reduces within days or weeks of the announcement.
True.
Right.
True. Because there were names that were here last year that are not there this year.
So between last year and this year, there's been a major drop. So there was a tie between South Africa and Egypt. Last year they had six billionaires from South Africa and 6 billionaires from Egypt. But this year we have 5 from South Africa, 5 from Egypt, 4 from Nigeria. Then I think we have 2 from Morocco, then 1 from Algeria, Angola, Tanzania and Zimbabwe, one each.
Yeah.
So there's so much to see and so much to learn. And for those of us who hope that before we die we'll be billionaires, we will go and read this list. We will write it and put it on our vision board. And we will understand, you know, what these people did. These are basic role models that people should have, young people should have, young entrepreneurs, businessmen, SMEs. You know, these are the people you should look up to.
When I was talking to my father about this list this morning, my dad said, these are the men who don't sleep.
Exactly.
While you are sleeping. And I looked at him like, it's like, yeah, they don't sleep.
People think that when you have a lot of money, you know, you are balling, you are living the good life. But the truth is that the richer you are, the more work you might have to put. Maybe I'm not a rich person. I'm not that much of a rich person yet, so I don't know. But from the ones that I have seen, they work so hard. And we have that those who have less money are the ones that are, you know, feeling entitled. And you have time to be turning up and, you know. That is not to say that you should not rest. Please, whatever you do, make our time to rest. We understand the importance of rest and going on leave, going on a vacation to relax, refresh, and rejuvenate. So congratulations to our billionaires. Cheers to having more younger people on that list in 2020. And if you're going to be one of them, say amen. Amen. Amen.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.